Hello, this is my Crazy Ex channel. Please subscribe.
I cheated on my husband only 2 months after our wedding, and I never intend to tell him. Story 1-2. Background: early on in our relationship, we were long distance and it was rough on both of us. We both cheated on one another, although my cheating was longer and more extensive. After we moved in together, he found a confession journal of mine why I didn't padlock the damn thing. I'll never know, read it, confronted me, and also told me about his indiscretion. There was crying and a few days of bewilderment, but we got over it. Interlude: after getting very drunk at my best friend's wedding in 2006, I had a one-night stand with a friend of the bride who was just coming off a divorce. Damn, I played it off in my head as if I was doing a public service for the guy, getting him back on the track of actually like himself, which did happen. Actually, he went on to be a major player in a successful gubernatorial campaign, and ended up copping a job in the administration. However, after my walk of shame in the morning, I told myself no more. I wasn't going to do this to anymore, and I was going to turn over a new leaf. So, I moved in with him. There was the thing with the journal, and then nothing. He proposed, and we ended up getting married in 2009. The problem: 2 months after our wedding, I dropped my newly minted husband off at the airport to go away for a conference. Since I had driven to a major city to do this, I looked up a friend who lived in the city, to hang out and catch up. We'll call him Dan. 2 things about Dan: he's like a gentleman's gentleman. He opens doors, scoots you into your seat, and pays for everything. Chivalry is not dead in his eyes. Second, he towers over my 5'9" height with his 6'5" height. He's the only person I've ever met that makes me feel dainty. Either way, we hang out, talk, eat, drink a duck ton of alcohol. Driven to confess by the ethanol, Dan blurts out how he hasn't had time in over a year, and is beginning to doubt himself with women, and has even tried to think about guys. I make the appropriate soothing noises, and the evening goes on. We drink even more alcohol, including stopping on the way back to his apartment to pick up tonic for GTs, and once we get back to the apartment, we continue to chat. Dan had been unable to come to our wedding because of a work commitment, so I had actually brought the DVD with our wedding pictures on it to show him. That right, I was showing him my wedding pictures when things got nasty. I was sitting on his lap, because of no other chairs in his bedroom, and realized that I was wearing garters and stockings because they were pressed into him. One thing led to another, and all of a sudden, I was on the floor, in front of his fireplace, moaning for all I was worth, with the skirt of my dress hiked up around my waist. Things moved to bed eventually, and I'm pretty sure between the two of us, we woke up both his roommates. I later found out that it was the first time he had ever received oral. He had just turned 29. And also his first time doing AL. In my strange brain, I was kind of proud of all this, and very glad that he felt so much better about his timuality and his prowess with women. Oh, and let me tell you, Redditors, in his year off, he had not lost his skill. The 3 or 4 times we had time that night was ducking fantastic. In fact, I can still remember how sore my pussy felt the next day from him. God, it was good. However, on the drive back home the next morning, I had an attack of conscience. He'd already sent me some lurid texts, and one photo of his DCK. I flipped out on him. I'm a married woman, you can't be sending my shit like that, and on in that fashion. It was pretty horrible of me. I told him not to text me until I figured out my brain a little better. Conclusion: and that brings us up to today, my friends. I've somehow managed to not tell my husband, keep up the friendship with Dan, and I have absolutely no intention of ever telling my husband. It would do nothing but hurt him. And, if I'm being honest with myself, having time with Dan was a public service, and I had been faithful for over 3 years. Mainly the reason I'm confessing is that I'm weakening again, and I'm trying to figure out if I can see Dan again. TLDR, I'm a bad girl. Edit, I came here to confess, not to ask advice from people on my marriage. I will not be answering any comments containing the word divorce. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, maybe monogamy is not for you. Redditor follow-up, I came to say this. I don't think Op sounds like the type of person who should be married. Op, you don't sound like you can be faithful to one person. Not criticizing or anything, but some people just cannot. Redditor 2. Edit, I came here to confess. Question mark. TL, DR, I'm a bad girl. No. You came here to brag. Redditor 3, you sound like you're proud of it. Op answer, I'm proud of the fact that I helped my friend, but am deeply ashamed that I did this to my husband. Redditor 4, your husband is probably cheating on you. Actually, you would be an idiot to think otherwise. It's great, because you two can continue on your shitty cycle of a relationship and keep each other away from all the normal human beings. Keep it up. Redditor 5, it sounds to me like you shouldn't be married. Maybe it was a marriage of convenience or comfort. Maybe it was just easier, the normal, status quo thing to do. Many people marry for just that reason. But, from what you're saying, I think it isn't right for you. Get a divorce, save some face, and take solace in the fact that you did the right thing. It's marriage, not an immature fling. On that note, I can accept that good people make mistakes. Your willingness and even wanting to engage in this again is not a good sign. I'm not saying you're a bad person. But I am saying that what you're doing is terrible and has the capability to completely destroy someone. Redditor 6, that was pretty hot. No wonder you're thinking about seeing him again. Maybe I should start confessing to girls that I haven't had time in a year. Op answer, not all girls take it the way that I did do. And, honestly, I'm pretty sure even if he hadn't confessed, I still would have jumped him. Drunk is as drunk does. Redditor 7, cheaters suck. Just saying. There is no justification for it. If you can't arrange an honest open relationship to avoid being a liar cheater, you suck. There will always be people that you encounter in your life that will potentially be smoking hot sexual partners. You can either approach this reality honestly or dishonestly. You have chosen the latter. Edit, I just wanted to add that you don't have to choose monogamy in relationships. Many people have very successful and honest open or poly relationships. Maybe that's better for you, too. I didn't mean to come off as judgmental, but dishonesty is dishonesty. You can do better. We all deserve better. Redditor 8, mainly the reason I'm confessing is that I'm weakening again, and I'm trying to figure out if I can see Dan again. Oh Jesus. I read this from the perspective of your husband, subconsciously putting myself in his place. If you truly love him, you will reconsider this. If not, I hope your husband is at least doing the same thing to you. There is no public service here, this was all for you. You're just justifying it to yourself. Redditor 9, duck off people, this is our confession, not our unsolicited advice. Read the ducking sidebar. Redditor 10, this isn't advice, it's a statement, you're a cunt. Redditor 11, this is not the place to judge you, but at least don't ducking lie right to us. Public service? Really? That has to be the most bees justification I have seen on this confession section. At least everyone else owns up to what they have done. Op answer, I'm not trying to give you a justification, just how I feel about it. I'm not say right, wrong or indifferent, just that, in my head, that's how it played out. Redditor 12, one thing led to another, and all of a sudden, I was on the floor, in front of his fireplace, moaning for all I was worth, with the skirt of my dress hiked up around my waist. Yeah, see, for most people this doesn't really happen all of a sudden. I tend to agree with everyone else here. Maybe you shouldn't be married. Maybe your husband would even be open to a less conventional definition of marriage? Good luck. Oh, and maybe talk to your husband before you see Dan again. It's the right thing to do. Op answer, to be complete honest, Litpod, it did happen that way, because I blacked out for the in-between time of sitting on his lap, to being on the floor. Redditor 13, there isn't a reason to tell your husband about this if it was a one-time event. Making someone feel devastated just to ease your own guilt is a much worse thing to do than make a one-time mistake, emo. I think the people telling you that you are wrong for not telling your husband aren't looking at all the gray areas here. However, if you see Dan again for SX, then you are changing the nature of what you are doing from one night stand mistake to an affair. Having an affair and not telling your husband is a whole different thing. At that point, emo, you are taking something away from your marriage, not just scratching a carnal itch. Also, The fact that you are choosing an existing friend for this looks like drama-seeking behavior to me. No judgment. I have no idea what is right or wrong for you or your husband. Just food for thought. Redditor 14, I have some experience with this sort of thing, so I really don't want you to think I came here to condemn you. But these are some thoughts based on my experience. Based on the various time frames you mentioned in your post, you're pretty young. I'll go out on a limb and guess that the long distance period of the relationship took place while one or both of you were in school. This is almost certainly the longest serious relationship of your adult life, and perhaps the only one. Either way, your husband has been an absolutely integral part of your experience of the world as an adult. And that's a rare thing to have. But that can also keep you from recognizing when a relationship has run its course. It can prevent you from accepting when you no longer love someone. You could just as soon contemplate life without your pancreas as without your husband. Reading through your posts here, I don't see a whole lot that suggests why you feel so passionately about your husband. It's just sort of the natural state of the world. It's practical. It makes sense. You support one another, but the bug in your ear doesn't shut up and go away. So the problem reasserts itself in whatever way it can. You act out. You cheat, you become resentful, you start building a secret life for yourself. You work semi-unconsciously to undermine the foundations of your relationship. Your situation is far from unique. And I'm not going to tell you what to do. But at least ask yourself why you're so committed to this marriage. Is it because your husband is the love of your life? Or is it because the alternative is just a total blank? Redditor 15, regardless of why you say you came here, this post sounds like a lot of indirect bragging. You are an admitted liar and cheater. Not only that, but you justify your cheating by saying you were helping a friend. I just want to be clear here. In this situation you may have done him a service, but you did more of a service to yourself. You also justify not telling your husband about your betrayal by saying it would do nothing but hurt him. That logic is ducked up. It would do more than just hurt him. It may make him realize that you are a habitual cheater and no relationship is sacred to you, not even a marriage, so he should cut his losses and get the duck out. You sat on another man's lap in a skirt and you expect us to think time just happened all of a sudden. Please, lady, it is my belief that you know exactly what you are doing. You have no remorse. You are okay with lying and betraying your husband because what he doesn't know won't hurt him, and you're having fun with no one holding you accountable. So, have fun while it lasts, but few secrets stay secrets forever. Women like you make their husbands look like complete jackasses, forever forgiving and then marrying such a deceitful person. I feel for him. Redditor 16, if I was your husband, I would never want to know. Take this to your grave, you will only hurt him with this knowledge. It can serve no other purpose than to make you feel somewhat relieved by not having to carry the burden, but the burden would then be placed on your husband, who is innocent. Redditor 17, a lot of people are giving you flack, but it is understandable that you'd want to reassure guys of their confidence. The things that you said are some of the reasons why I don't drink much. It clouds the mind and end up looking stupid and or making mistakes. We just have to try to learn from our mistakes. Best wishes to you and good luck. Op answer, thanks, 24/7. And about the drinking, see above, sober for 154 days now. Redditor 18, you may never intend on telling him, but he will find out. And not telling him, having him think you're one thing when you're something different, is just as bad if not worse than cheating. I know exactly what you're doing here. I used to be you. I was with my ex-husband for 8.5 years, 4 of which we were married, and yes, I cheated on him 1 month into the marriage. I also cheated with a co-worker several years later and was found out after I left my email open and being suspicious enough to make him look. He divorced me and then I lost my job. I am telling you, you're consciously making one of the worst decisions. The cheating and not telling him and wanting to continue the affair could easily turn your world upside down. Before you do anything, I strongly suggest putting yourself in your husband's shoes and take a look at yourself and how he sees you, as opposed to who you really are. Are you hiding who you are from him because you're afraid that once you actually expose someone all of yourself that leaves the potential for them to reject you? So you present this other self that is not you so you can't be rejected, and this damn person doesn't actually know you either. I wonder if you know who the real you is. I only hope you wake up and have a look at who you really are and what you're doing and get honest with yourself and your husband before it's too late. You owe him the truth. What has he ever done to deserve this? Telling him will hurt him, but it will at least give him the option of deciding if he wants to be with you. And when you say nothing will come from it but hurting him, I can personally tell you if you actually gave a duck about hurting him, you wouldn't be doing this in the first place. He's supposed to be your very best friend, and this is a shitty way to treat a friend. And this will eat you up. Redditor 19. However, after my walk of shame in the morning, I told myself no more. I wasn't going to do this to anymore, and I was going to turn over a new leaf. Congratulations, you only had to cheat twice before you learned your lesson. I'm sure that's a quick learning curve to some people. Redditor 20. That's ducked up. Story 22. Wife cheated on me with mutual friend 2 days ago. Spent whole weekend with said friend as if nothing had happened. FML. I've been together with my wife for going on 13 years now, married for 10, and just found out that she slept with one of our friends who was going to the cottage with us over the weekend. So I spent the entire weekend with this guy fishing, frying up a chicken, chopping down trees, etc., not knowing he had just had time with my wife. I noticed that they were hanging out alone more than usual and that my wife was avoiding me almost religiously, so I knew something was up, but I never imagined that she would cheat on me. Now, I do have to say that my wife has been going through a lot of anxiety and depression lately, which she has been unfortunately dealing with by drinking a lot more than usual. In her defense, she was pretty vulnerable. We had been going through this stuff together, but it was pretty rough. I know that the flirtation has been going on for months, had actually warned her to be careful with him since he's a little slimy and general perpetual flirt, and could tell that she was enjoying the attention a little more than usual. In any case, she wasn't feeling great all weekend, so when we returned from the cottage I told her to go lie down and took care of unpacking and getting the kids to bed. Once they were tucked away, she comes downstairs and tells me this news sobbing. I go on to find out that it happened when I left early to go set up the cottage with the kiddos, which we were locked out of BTW, so we were actually waiting for them to get there to unlock, and that there was no drinking involved. They had also kissed a few days earlier, and my wife sent pics of her taking a bath before that. What the actual fuck? The sad part is that I love my wife and I really do want things to work out. She told me that things were just easy with him because he suffers from anxiety and depression, so he understands how she feels. She seems to genuinely regret and says it kind of happened in a daze. How do I get over this? She also doesn't want me to talk to him because she's worried that he'll kill himself. I'm a very calm, collected guy and just wanted to chat. Is this a fair ask? Can I make things work? Should I? I really don't know right now. TL. Our wife cheated on me with two-faced friend. Seems like a legit slip-up and want to make it work, but not sure how or if I should. Update 1. Confronted her around 4 a.m. and asked her to unlock her phone so I could read her most recent messages. Lots of resistance initially, trying to say she wouldn't do it because it's 4 in the morning, she has to work, etc. Finally agreed, but she had panicked and deleted messages when she got home. There was still quite a bit of incriminating stuff in there from this evening, suggesting more than a random fling and that this guy is smitten, wants to steal her away from me, etc. And also that he was actually saying that he wants to kill himself. She was responding favorably, supposedly to keep him off the ledge, and insists to me that it was awful time and she can't picture kissing, time, or life with him, only me. She is now in agreement to having an open phone from now on, cutting contact entirely, complete honesty, and the consequences of breaking any of those rules. I'm gone. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. What the actual fuck? I have a lot of anxiety, depression, etc. disorders. None of that has been any weird precursor to cheating on my husband. None. We're about to get a divorce and I cringe 99% of the time I do get attention. She needs therapy. Whatever root cause of why she would do such a thing, especially her disassociating, saying it was a daze, is concerning. Op answer. Yes, we've discussed therapy quite a bit recently and she has gone in the past. Some past trauma has also come to light in the last month or so, something she had buried for a while that I suspect I don't have the whole story on. There's also a good possibility that she has an immune disorder of some kind. However, I said that she still has to own that this happened and her role in it. Thanks for the input, sorry about the divorce. Redditor 2, it seems like this has been going on a lot longer than you may think. And I am more than willing to bet that this was not the first time they had sex. Ask your friend what the hell kind of friend he is. And then let the rest of your friends know that they had better keep an eye on there so whenever he is around. The way you sound, you don't really seem to be bothered too much about this. You are making all kinds of excuses for her and her actions like it wasn't even her fault. Our wife cheated on me with two-faced friend. Seems like a legit slip-up and want to make it work, but not sure how or if I should. You should have started that with two-faced wife. And pray tell, what is a legit slip-up? This was no mistake. This was planned. Redditor follow-up, calling this a legit slip-up is the cringiest thing I have ever seen on here, and we get a self-gaslighter like once a week. Redditor 3, I'm so sorry. Cheaters suck. Take your time to figure out what you want to do. She doesn't get to call the shots, BTW. Op answer, yeah I know, but I'm also concerned about her well-being. I know, weird right? I've made her aware that she'll have to do the work to regain my trust, but I am holding off on confronting the friend for tonight at least. Redditor 4, let's see. Ducked him before the trip, flirted and timided in the lead up to the trip, lets you hang with him all weekend, tells you not to say anything to him. So you have the tip of the iceberg. It wasn't just once. No way. My guess is he started pressuring her to leave you, so she had to cut things off. And she knows if you speak to him you'll get the real truth. Depression, anxiety, whatever, those don't make PPL cheat. And quit saying she was manipulated. She's an adult. She knows right from wrong. She knows she's married. She also knew that cheating could result in divorce, but she did it anyway. Having that time was worth a possible divorce to her. She didn't get manipulated, but you sure as shit are. Redditor 5, she is now in agreement to having an open phone from now on, cutting contact entirely, complete honesty and the consequences of breaking any of those rules. I'm gone. There is a sucker born every minute, guys. Seriously though, what is wrong with you? She didn't have some spur of the moment drunken fling, not that that is better, she had an affair. Seems like a legit slip up and want to make it work. It's not a ducking slip up. You are a chump if you stay with her. Just waiting for her to do it again. The woman you married 10 years ago, mother of your children, just had an affair with your friend. She flirted, texted, sucked his DCK, ducked him, all while you and the kids were waiting at a cabin somewhere. She thinks nothing of you. She doesn't respect you or your relationship. Why would you even want to save this? Where is your spine? Redditor 6, stop defending her. It is not defensible. Period. This is your brain searching for an excuse to forgive something very cruel and even easier to not do. And no, telling you not to talk to your friend is not a reasonable ask. She has no right to control how you react to this situation at all. TBH, it sounds like there might be more to this that she doesn't want you to find out about and is worried the friend will divulge. Like, does she expect you to just keep being the guy's friend? For his sake? Duck that, to the moon and back. You are not friends with this guy anymore. You were barely friends to begin with when he would do something so completely disgusting, and you should tell him as much. Her expecting you to care about his feelings shows you where her priorities really are. Op answer, I know right? I quite literally said there must have been a dozen ways to stop this and you didn't. The worst of it is that she said that she didn't want it to stop. Tough pill to swallow, that one. She said she's felt numb for a while and maybe she just wanted to feel something. Redditor 7, I am so sorry this happened to you. But it seems as if your wife is trying to turn this on to you. What you need to understand is that there is no defending her. She took advantage of your trust. You both have been going through this rough patch, and she is the only person who decided to cheat. Moreover, you knew about the flirtation, but trusted her enough to handle it on her own. Whether you want to work through this or not is your choice, but you need to understand that have zero blame here. And she doesn't want you to talk to the guy because he might kill himself? Honestly, she seems more worried about him than you. Maybe talking to him could add more to the story, or she might have gotten emotionally attached to him. Either way, the way your wife is asking you to approach this is completely selfish. Talk to him. This isn't some random guy, this is someone whom you consider to be a friend. I hope you do what's best for you. Good luck, victory hand. Op answer, thanks for this. I'm really pissed about her defending him. I want to talk to him very badly, but I'm giving it a day out of respect for my wife. Redditor 8, now, I do have to say that my wife has been going through a lot of anxiety and depression lately, which she has been unfortunately dealing with by drinking a lot more than usual. In her defense, she was pretty vulnerable. We had been going through this stuff together, but it was pretty rough. The first thing you need to do is stop making excuses for her. She's a big girl and should take 100% of the responsibility. It is good that she came forward with the news instead of you finding out on your own. It is bad that she did this with a close friend. My concern is that she doesn't want you to talk to him because he may fill you in on a lot of shit that happened which she hasn't told you and doesn't want you to know. For instance, was this the first time? You cannot be responsible for your friend's mental well-being. It's ridiculous that your wife would ask you not to talk to him unless she is trying to hide a bigger truth. I wouldn't even wait before confronting him. I'd wake the Ashol up in the middle of the night if I had to. I would also take your wife's phone with you so she doesn't warn him off. And while you're at it, tell her to unlock her phone and show you the texts they have obviously been trading back and forth. Don't let her take her phone away and then show you. Ask her, on the spot, to hand you her phone and give you all her passwords to email, texting apps, social media, and Discourse servers. If she refuses, tell her your next stop will be at a lawyer's office. Redditor 9, I can tell by the nature of your replies you are still in the fog as you are trying so hard to defend your wife's actions. They're not defendable. What she did is indefensible no matter her mental health, especially since you saw it someone a mile away, warned her, and she did it anyway. She wanted to do it. It was never in the moment even if it wasn't pre-planned. Because she desired it, she was only waiting on the opportunity. Your wife is almost assuredly in the affair fog too and will most likely continue to unblock him, talk with him when not around you. The way she talks about him understanding her and defending him makes it clear she has strong feelings for him. Try hard to not get caught up in the pick-me dance with her. For reconciliation to work, he's got to be completely cut off as step one. You both need individual therapists. Yes, you too. This episode is very traumatic and you're about to undertake a long journey filled with tons of emotional pain. Then couples counseling when y'all have settled into it. Everything is too new right now. You need to take some time to truly process your emotions and how you're feeling. Redditor 10, sorry my friend, but that's the ballgame right there. The unfixable has been shattered. I don't see any advantage in talking to his nibs. Hang tough, this is going to be rough. Redditor 11, brother, the things as he may be. Manipulate her but she choose to get manipulated by him. She didn't value the vows you took at once. Didn't think what it will do to the kids and the family you both build. Everybody has some bad past, but it's an excuse for cheating because of their trauma. It's she had problems, she must got some help. Instead of getting along with and jerk. The fact is what you will tell to your kids when they grew up and find out Daddy isn't capable of taking his own stand? What will you tell to your kids? To stay with someone who cheats because of their trauma and share a children? Break vows and trust in marriage. Brother, she choose to do it. It wasn't a drunken mistake. He was flirting with her for a long time. Instead of you telling her to set boundaries, she took it for granted and make you look like a stupid, insecure husband. Do you want these to all happen again? Then I will say continue and get ready to be fooled once again. And if you self-respect and dignity is important to you, then leave. And tell your kids that no one has a right to disrespect them. Their dignity and self-respect. Redditor 12, not sure if you'll read this, but I've been there. I grew up without having much if anything to do with family or parents. It led to me developing bad tendencies. I tried to fill voids with girls, and it was my go-to for depression. It wasn't okay by any means, and I'm better now, but I did it. When you're in a dark place, and you convince yourself that those around you don't care, or love you, well, you'll do some pretty stupid shit. Especially drunk. Life isn't always black and white. Decide what you want, and go from there. Talk to her, and if you decide to stay and fix things, Come up with a plan on how to do it: therapy, counseling, setting firm boundaries, etc. I'm sorry, friend. I hope everything works out for you. That's such a ducking gut punch. You'll get this, buddy. Redditor 13, don't forget to update my man. And I hope you resolve the situation quickly. Redditor 14, it definitely confront the guy. Redditor 15, I'm guessing that the only reason that she isn't with the friend is because he can't provide her with the lifestyle that you can. Other than this, you would have been history. The only reason that she told you is not because she felt guilty, but because she and he wanted them shagging on a regular basis, to become the new and accepted normal. They must genuinely think that you are the sort of chump that's going to accept this. So far, you haven't proved them wrong. Time will tell. Good luck. You are going to need it. Redditor 16, anxiety and depression? Why are you defending her actions? Op answer, I'm not. That was just the early stages of trying to find reasons. Lots has happened since then. Redditor 17, individual therapy first. You need to process your feelings and she need to process her actions. After a few months, then I suggest marriage counseling to work together with what happened and how to move forward. Op comment, probably nothing. Don't know. Redditor 19, sorry you are going through this situation. Ultimately, you are going to have to make a difficult decision if you are going to try and save your relationship, or if it is too much of a breach and call it quit. An affair is not a mistake, it is a series of deliberate choices. The choices are compounded each time your so meets their AP, each time they call or text, each time they lie to you about who they are talking to or going to see. This could have been prevented if your so had simply chosen to talk with you and discuss issues leading to this betrayal. But they did not, choosing to ignore their marriage vows. Until they told you about the affair, your so lied to you daily, even if it was by omission. This destroys trust and is extremely hard to overcome for many, especially when added to the actual infidelity. If your so has been cheating on your marriage, it is best to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Speak with a divorce lawyer to find out your rights and options. Do this even if you want to save your marriage. Consider filing for divorce so your so knows you are serious about your intent. Remember, a divorce can be stopped at any point until the final decree is signed, if you wish. Let your so know that divorce is a real possibility. Demand marital counseling and immediate blocking of any affair partner. If you get pushback, reiterate the divorce option. Immediately go get tested for STD/STI. In some states you can sue the affair partner for alienation of affection. If you win, it awards you money for the AP for stealing your spouse's affection from you. Gather all your important documents: passport, driver's license, birth certificates, bank info, credit cards, debit card, etc. in a secure location. Change all your online passwords today. Remove your so as an person authorized to get your personal or medical information. Add password protection to accounts that don't have it already. If you do not live together, change your locks and security alarm codes. Demand access to access their devices and accounts so you can check them. If you are met with cries of violating their privacy, remind them they violated their marriage vows. Their privacy is no longer optional until having proven trustworthy again. If you do separate, block your so on Facebook, IG, and other online profile sites. Quit posting to any social media. Lay low in public forums. Don't trash them online, it could possibly be used against you. Keep all communication to text or email. If legal in your state, record phone calls and the in-person conversations. Download a phone recording app so you don't forget to record. Immediately separate your finances into an account your so cannot access to protect your money. Lock your credit report to prevent new accounts being opened in your name. Remove your so from joint accounts if possible. If there are children involved, demand a paternity test. Expect your wife to push back on this. Probably she will claim you don't trust her. Remind her that she cheated and lied to you about the affair. Don't give in on this, get the paternity test. Hopefully the children are yours. However, if it turns out you are not the father, this will provide support for claims of infidelity during your marriage if it does go to divorce. Check out our Surviving Infidelity and our Sony After Infidelity for information and tips from others who have went through similar situations. Best wishes. Redditor 20, I hate to bring this up, but are you 100% certain the kids are yours? Because it sounds like the slime ball has been around for a while.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.